Hello everybody, Sonny Fernandez here with the top 10 movies of 2014. Here we go! 2015! Wait, stop. Okay, that's not really accurate. This isn't really the best movies of 2014. That would be like a list with like Selma on it and Boyhood.
We need your help.
That's not this list. This isn't the best movies of 2014. This is my personal favorite movies of 2014. And that's very, very different because my personal tastes are very eclectic. Ask anybody. The movies that are on my list aren't the best directed. They don't have the best stories. They don't have the best acting. But they're the movies that I enjoyed most. These are the movies I'm going to put in my DVD player over and over again and tell my friends about and tell everybody that you got to see them. So keep that in mind when you listen to this list here. So let's try my top 10 personal favorite movies of 2014. Alright, you ready? Number 10, The Babadook.
You can't get rid of the Babadook.
I can't remember the last horror movie I saw that got people talking like this movie did.
I promise to protect you if you promise to protect me.
You know, this is a creepy, crawly thriller about an insane lady and her terrible, obnoxious son. It's the kind of movie where you're never quite sure if it's all in her head or if it's really happening.
You see him if you look.
Babadook, duck, duck.
All I know is it's a very effective little flick. Now, I wouldn't say it's the best horror movie of 2014. The first half really scared me. The second half, once they showed the Babadook, well, you know, he looked like what I imagined Lon Chaney would look like in London After Midnight. You know, he wasn't really that scary to me. So once they showed him, I was kind of like,
It can't hurt you.
I will tell you that if you're a parent, if you have kids, this movie's probably going to hit you a lot harder than it would otherwise. It's very scary, it's very frightening, but it's not my personal favorite horror movie of 2014. It is a great movie though, and it definitely deserves everything it's given. That's awesome. So, number 10, The Babadook. On to number 9, Snowpiercer, the crazy-ass Korean movie about Chris Evans stuck on a train.
This chaos.
You know, this is the kind of movie that's just, it's off-the-wall insanity, you know, from getting there. And I hear a lot of people say, oh, it's not very realistic. Well, if you say that shit, you ain't watching a lot of Asian movies, are you? Because they don't have to follow any kind of real-world logic. They do whatever the fuck they want. That's what I love about them. So,
those bastards in the front think they own us.
you know, Snowpiercer is actually based on a comic book, and not a lot of people know that. It's a dark, bleak, really kind of hopeless kind of picture. There's not a lot of happiness going on there.
When is the time? Soon.
I enjoyed the hell out of it, but that kind of like, there's just some stuff at the end that kind of ruined the enjoyment for me. But it's still a fantastic fucking movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it right away. It's on VOD everywhere. I think it might actually be on Netflix right now, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out immediately. It's a great movie. That was number 9. Number 8, Jodorowsky's Dune. And again, I'm probably mangling the poor guy's name.
I wanted to make something sacred to change the young mind of all the world.
You know, being a guy who's pretty creative, I love anything that has to do with the artistic task of creation. Whether it be a movie or a novel, that process is always very fascinating.
C'est le plus beau livre de science-fiction, ça s'appelle la Bible de la science-fiction, succès d'édition mondiale.
I didn't read Dune, but I have a friend who said it was fantastic.
Jodorowsky's just a really insane filmmaker. He made El Topo. If you haven't seen his stuff and you're really into the surreal kind of cinema, you can't go wrong with him. He's made some of the most original stuff you've ever seen in your life.
3,000 drawings. I shoot the picture, point of view, movement of the camera, dialogue.
Designing the spaceships, the clothes, the whole look of his world.
The castle. Open the mouth.
At one point in time, he was tasked to make Dune, the great science fiction novel that ended up being made by David Lynch. It was a disaster of a movie, but this was before Star Wars. If this movie would have been made, it probably would have changed the face of cinema forever. He had so many crazy ideas there, ideas and visuals that are still being used to this day.
David Carradine, Mick Jagger. Dali as the Mad Emperor of the Galaxy.
Dali said, can I have a burning giraffe? All right, we'll have burning giraffe.
Orson Welles.
You know, the movie is ultimately about the triumph of spirit and the way that failure can lead to even bigger things. Number 7 is Oculus, this really great horror movie about a haunted mirror.
Hello again.
It's kind of mindfuck of a film. It's kind of a film where you're never quite sure what's reality and what's fantasy because the mirror just mess with everybody so much.
My name is Kaylee Ann Russell. The purpose of today's experiment is to prove that the object behind me is responsible for at least 45 deaths in the 4 centuries of its recorded existence.
Constantly switch from the past with the father going crazy to the present with the kids trying to deal with it. and as they attempt to stop the mirror, and as the mirror continually messes with their minds.
Daddy?
Tim.
Snap out of it.
If you haven't seen it, check it out right away. It's on Netflix. You can't go wrong with it. Number 6. Now here's where things get a little tricky at, because like I said, my personal taste in horror movies isn't going to be everybody's personal taste in horror movies. The things that scare me might not scare you. And that's the problem with Willow Creek, which is my number 6 movie. It was directed by Bobcat Goldthwait, who a lot of people, this crazy guy from One Crazy Summer who used to scream a lot. People don't know he's turned into quite an amazing director. He made World's Greatest Dad with Robin Williams. He made God Bless America last year, a couple years ago. And he's really turned into something special. Well, this is his first horror movie, Bigfoot horror movie.
I said I would come on this trip to help you with your film, and it's your birthday, and we're gonna have a great time, but I'm not about to say that I believe in Bigfoot.
Now, here's the thing. This is the kind of horror movie where you don't really see what scares you, and that always works on me. If you don't show me what is supposed to scare me, I'm gonna be scared to fucking death of it. It's very much a Blair Witch Project ripoff, but it's gonna be one of the best Blair Witch Project ripoffs you've ever seen in your life.
Did you hear that?
That sounds like someone's crying.
But you get a very subtle, very quiet horror that frankly scared the fucking piss off of me. I was scared to death when I was watching this movie. There's a 15-minute scene that takes place in just a tent. That's, for me, the most frightening scene put on film this year. So if the Blair Witch Project scared you, this movie's probably gonna scare you too. If you're one of the people that watched the Blair Witch Project and was like, that was stupid, this movie ain't gonna work on you either, so keep that in mind. But if you want a good, frightening as fuck horror movie that was more in the vein of the Blair Witch Project, you should go check this out immediately, because it's awesome. Number 5 is another Bigfoot horror movie. There were 2 great Bigfoot horror movies this year. What the fuck happened? What's going on with that shit? Man, number 5 exists. Now it's kind of funny because Wolf Creek is a Blair Witch Project ripoff, and Exist is from one of the guys that made Blair Witch Project, and even though it's still a found footage film, it really doesn't have anything to do with the Blair Witch Project, not in the way you actually see them Bigfoot in Exist. You see them a lot.
It's okay. There's nothing out here.
And at first I had an issue with the movie because I really didn't like the design of Bigfoot. I didn't like the way they were showing them, but as the movie went on, it just got better and better. It starts off with some of the most dislikable characters I've seen in a movie in a long fucking time. I hated every fucker in this movie.
Sex life alone.
It doesn't matter anyway, because you spend about 10 minutes with them before the Bigfoot shows up and all hell starts breaking loose. And once that Bigfoot shows up, it's just awesomeness, awesomeness, awesomeness. The movie does not stop. It's just set piece after set piece after set piece. And it just keeps going and going and going. It gets better and better as it goes on. By the end of the movie, I was in love with it.
It's Matt! We're at the cabin!
Particularly the final scene. That's when the movie kind of tipped it over past Willow Creek for me. The final scene is brilliant and awesome. And actually kind of meaningful. It makes you think. It's on VOD right now. It's going to be on DVD next year, I think February. But it is out right now if you want to see it. So if you're in the mood for a really fantastic monster movie, check out Exist. Or if you're a fan of Bigfoot horror movies, you know, you don't have a lot to fucking pick from, but if you are, this is probably one of the good ones.
He's pushing us towards the edge! No!
Number 4, Housebound. I love this fucking movie. This is the kind of movie that doesn't come along that often. It perfectly combines horror and comedy and suspense and everything you love about movies all in one package.
Gosh, that's high tech, isn't it? Aren't you lucky, Kylie, having all that fancy technology on your foot?
And it really didn't get a whole lot of love, and I'm not sure why. We should change that. You should check out Housebound right away.
When you put an overactive mind in an inactive environment, there's bound to be complications.
I don't need a counseling session, I just need to get out of this house!
It's about a criminal girl who gets caught robbing an ATM and ends up having to get on house arrest with her parents and her kind of creepy stepfather.
Oh no, they've been doing this all week. Hold on.
And it's the kind of movie that the less you know about, the better. Let's just put it like this. The movie is never quite what it seems. And it does take a little while to get started, but once it gets going, oh man, this movie is just fantastic.
Things I can't explain.
this gets the award for the funniest final line in the movie too. I was laughing my ass off at the end. Again, it's called Housebound. See it as soon as you can. It's tremendous. And now we come to the movie that I don't hear anybody talking about. I don't hear nobody saying anything about this movie. And it's quite frankly the number 3! Go! It's called Why Don't You Play in Hell? And what we're dealing with here is one of those crazy fucking Asian movies that can only be made over there. Because Americans don't think this way. We just don't have it in us. We don't have this kind of insanity in us. And they do. Why Don't You Play in Hell is about, you know, it's kind of hard to explain. It would take me an hour to explain the plot of this movie. And what follows is the greatest finale in any movie this year. There's a lot of build up to it, but when it comes, oh man, it's truly a sight to behold. This is also on VOD right now. I do believe I watched it on Amazon. If you're in the mood for a truly crazy, original, mind-blowingly great movie, you're not going to get any better than this one. It's called Why Don't You Play in Hell? Go check it out. Number 2, The Guest. Holy hell. Now this is a movie. You're never quite sure where it's going to go for most of it. You're not quite sure if you're watching a comedy or an action movie or a coming of age movie. It keeps you guessing the entire time until one moment when you're like, ah, fuck, now I know what kind of movie this is.
Can I help you?
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes?
My name is David. Mrs. Peterson, I knew your son, Caleb.
This is from the same folks that made Your Next. And that was one of my favorite movies of last year. If you like Your Next, you're going to love this one because it's just as good.
For the damages.
Oh, and it also has one of the best soundtracks of any movie this year. It's the kind of movie as soon as you watch it, you're like, man, that was fucking awesome. Let me go look them up on YouTube. It's got a fantastic soundtrack. Shit, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. People are starting to talk about it though. It's finding an audience as time goes on, and hopefully it'll find a bigger one. It's called The Guest. Go check it out. Number 1, the number 1 movie of the year. What could it be? There were so many, right? There were Guardians of the Galaxy and there was Captain America. Fuck all that. Number 1 movie of the year, The Raid 2. Do I really gotta talk about this one? Do I really gotta tell you motherfuckers about The Raid 2? It is the most fist to the face, elbow to the gut, shotgun to the head, car chasing, wall flipping, mouth ripping, gun shootout, most badass fucking movie released this year. You know what, I'll go one step further. It's not just the best action movie of this year, it's the best action movie of the fucking decade. This is the Godfather 2 of action movies. The first one was a cool little movie with some great action scenes. This one takes it to a whole nother level. People complaining that the movie was too long, but I mean, it's just because it has a lot of story to it, and I love the story. I would never want it to end. It could have been another 2 hours so far as I'm concerned. This is for me action filmmaking on a whole nother fucking level, man. This brings it to a whole new stratosphere. It's probably why a lot of the movies just didn't hold up for me, because The Raid pretty much ruined them for me. And that's it for 2014. That's my list. Those are my personal favorite movies. Like I said, that's not the best movies of the year. That would be a different list. This is my personal favorite movies of the year, and that's all that really matters to me. These are the movies that I'm going to put up on my shelf, and I'm going to look at, I'm going to watch them again and again and again, tell people about them because I enjoy them the most. Now, I'm sure your list is very different. Go ahead and share it with me. I'll go ahead and check it out. I love talking about movies, and I want to see your list too, because there's no such thing as a bad list. What movies you liked is the movies you like, and who gives a fuck what anybody else thinks. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back hopefully next month with a new movie review. I appreciate all the support I'm getting, everybody watching them. Like you or nothing. You know, if you're liking this shit, go ahead and subscribe to it so that way you know when I put a new stuff out. I'm always putting new stuff out. I'm putting new stuff on the movies out. I'm putting new videos out. I always put up little clips, and you're not going to see none of that shit unless you subscribe. So if you're enjoying this, go ahead and click that little button. And if you're not, fuck you, I don't care anyway, don't watch my shit. Just kidding, I'm just joking. So alright, thank you everybody for watching. That's my list right there. You know, and I hope you saw some movies on this list that you didn't know about. And hopefully now you got interested enough to go check them out, because it hurts my heart when great movies get ignored. So don't ignore these great movies. Go check them out. Thank you again for watching. Good day, everybody.